Today on Cptv, the Cal State University system has a new chancellor.
We'll show you part 2 of our series on deferred action.
And the toxicology reports for Brett Olson have been released.
Live from Studio 300 on Cal Poly's campus, I'm Dave Aguilar.
And I'm Kelly McDonald, and you're watching Cptv. The Cal State University system now has a new chancellor in place. According to a KPCC article, Timothy White will be taking over the largest university system in the state before taking on this role. White was the chancellor at UC Riverside. White wanted to improve the CSU system because of the positive impact he says it had on his life. The article continues to say that White will be entering the system amidst a major budget cut, tuition hikes, low numbers in enrollment, and classes that affect almost 500,000 students. Former CSU Chancellor Charles Reed is pleased with this decision. Reed believes that White understands California's public and university systems.
A recent controversy involving earthquake faults, marine wildlife, and nuclear power has shaken up San Luis Obispo County. It centers around a series of proposed surveys that will study seismic faults around PG&E's Diablo Canyon Power Plant, a nuclear power facility in Avila Beach. The California State Assembly mandated the three-dimensional seismic studies in 2008 after the Fukushima nuclear plant meltdown in Japan. The studies have created considerable tension between PG&E and local groups. These groups, which include the local fishing industry, environmental groups, and the Northern Chumash Tribal Council, believe that the studies will cause irreparable harm to local marine wildlife. So far, government agencies such as the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration have supported the study, stating that the methods used will only disrupt marine wildlife but not permanently injure or kill any mammals. However, the environmental reviews are ongoing. Tune in next week for our in-depth report on the seismic surveys and the controversy surrounding them.
Some undocumented immigrants will now be able to obtain a California driver's license. Assembly Bill 2189 was passed and signed for Governor Jerry Brown earlier this week. AB 2189, with President Obama's administration move that gives temporary legal residency to undocumented youth. Those who are eligible to receive deferred action will qualify to receive a license from the Department of Motor Vehicles. AB 2189 is estimated to affect 400,000 undocumented immigrants who are expected to meet the requirements of deferred action.
In the second part of a series, CPTV reporter Armando Garcia covers 2 different opinions on deferred action.
Where it takes me and what it does to me is not much of an issue, but it really does make me think of what's going to happen when my family's information is thrown in the hands of the government.
In the following weeks, Lupe will be applying for Obama administration deferred action. Her concerns about disclosing information about her family is not her own. Many applicants have the same fear. Despite the concerns, Catholic Charities immigration specialist Alondra Ortiz says it's worth it to apply.
It's more benefits than risk because they really get, if they qualify, and we have sent tons of applications. We haven't got an answer yet to the first ones, but it's a job opportunity for them to go to work. And
while Alondra champions the deferred action, community activist CC Todd urges undocumented students to think twice about disclosing information to the government.
They are going to check you. They're going to check you. They're going to check you, your family. They're going to check everything. Now they know who you are, where your family is. And to me, that scares me more than anything.
CPTV, Armando Garcia.
And that concludes Armando's series on deferred action. For more information, go to www.uscis.gov.
Cal Poly Theater arts student Brett Olson's autopsy results have determined his death to be accidental. The report was found that Olson had a blood alcohol content level around 0.23 at the time of death. Traces of cocaine were also found in his bloodstream. The Cal Poly student went missing during the annual Labor Day river flow in Chico a few weeks ago. His body was found 1 week later downstream of his last known whereabouts. The coroner found no signs of foul play and determined that Olson's cause of death was drowning.
The plastic bag ban was put into effect on Monday. Shoppers now have to find new ways to carry their groceries. Many are either using recyclable tote bags or purchasing paper bags at the store. Stores such as Target are now charging 10 cents per bag. And coming up next on CPTV, we'll have Olivia Bickle here in the studio with our weekend weather update.
We'll fill you in on some of the important propositions on the November ballot.
I think it's been great because it saves a lot of plastic, and I actually put an alarm on my phone to remind me to put the bags in my car, or else I forget them because I do it all the time.
Welcome back to CPTV. It's time for our weekend weather update.
CPTV reporter Olivia Bickle is joining us in the studio today. Weather's cooling down. What's in store for this weekend?
Well, like you said, David, it's finally cooling off after it reached temperatures in the 90s last weekend. Thank goodness we're getting back to the beautiful San Luis Obispo weather that we know and love. We can expect weather in the mid-70s over the next few days. So make sure you get outside at some point this weekend, maybe go on a hike, go to the beach, because it's going to be great outdoor weather. If you're looking to go surfing, there will be winds around 17 miles per hour on the beach. The water will have choppy conditions with shoulder height waves around 6 feet tall. Now we're going to take a look at the P, a shot from the P this morning. As you can see, it was kind of cloudy this morning, but it should burn off this afternoon and kind of get a little bit warmer, have some sunny weather. So it's going to be a great way to start off the weekend with some sunny skies. All right, in your 5-day forecast, like I said today, we're going to be in the 70s, so we'll have a high of 75. Tonight, we'll have a low of 58. There'll be patchy fog after 11 p.m., but otherwise, it'll just be partly cloudy and kind of cool. This weekend, we'll have highs in the low to mid-70s both Saturday and Sunday with mostly sunny skies, and lows around the 50s as well. So it's going to make for beautiful weekend weather. I can't tell you enough. It's just a great weekend to get outside, maybe take a little steady break. Monday is actually Columbus Day. It's going to cool off into the high 60s starting Monday, and it'll just be partly cloudy. There will be a slight chance of rain, but don't break out your rain boots just yet because chances are only between 10 and 20%. The same weather will carry over into Tuesday and should continue throughout the rest of next week. Well, that's it for your CPTV weather update. Back to you, Kelly and David.
All right, thank you, Olivia. It looks like we're going to have a great weekend ahead.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the beautiful weather we're going to have.
A lot of stuff coming up. The presidential election is coming up in November, and CPTV will bring you up-to-date election coverage. The first presidential debate was this past Wednesday night. The LA Times said that the victory belongs to Republican candidate Mitt Romney. The candidates discussed Medicare, the deficit, and how big Bird as Romney is willing to cut public broadcasting in efforts to save money. A popular topic was who would be getting a tax break, the middle and lower classes or the upper class. The LA Times article states that Obama called out Romney for his plan to cut taxes and use loopholes to pay for it. Romney, on the other hand, attacked Obamacare, that it would take $7 billion from Medicare. As candidates took turns attacking each other platforms, it was Romney who was mostly on the offensive side.
650 Cal Poly students could have trouble when they go to the polls in November. An investigation is being conducted by the Secretary of State in response to 900 voter registration cards that were turned in 3 days after the deadline in June. Students were told they were signing a petition to increase funding for education, but the group was instead collecting personal information and fraudulently registering them as members of the Republican Party and permanent vote-by-mail voters. To check the status of your voting registration, go to sos.ca.gov.
Car insurance rates could be changing soon if a proposition on the November ballot is passed. If Prop 30 passes, insurance companies will be able to increase the cost of insurance to drivers who have not maintained continuous coverage. This would change over 20 years of insurance laws by repealing an anti-discrimination provision from another proposition. Supporters of the proposition include the California Republican Party and the Mercury Insurance CEO, George Joseph, who donated $8.2 million.
The measure on the November ballot could have the products in your local grocery store looking a little differently. Proposition 37 is targeted at changing the labels on foods that are genetically engineered. If passed, the measure would require genetically engineered foods to be clearly labeled in order to inform consumers of its contents. But there are several exemptions under the proposal. Alcoholic beverages, organic foods, restaurant food, and food intended for immediate consumption would not have to be labeled.
You might see an initial increase in costs, but at the same time, as you look at producers of processed foods that use maybe a lot of corn, a lot of soybean, they will start doing this reformulation of the product to maintain the same quality, to maintain the same taste, but just using different inputs.
Those in favor of the measure argue that consumers have the right to know what it is the food they are buying at the supermarket. Those opposed to the labeling believe the measure would cost taxpayers millions of increased grocery bills by hundreds of dollars per year. You can learn more about this and other propositions on the ballot at votersguide.sos.ca.gov.
It's Latino Heritage Month, and reporter Jessica Rocco found out about an influential Latino on campus.
Quarter here after transferring from USC.
I'm an assistant professor of English here at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and I'm a Chicano, Mexican American.
As a minority, there are certain struggles that Dr. Navarro has faced.
I've heard comments like, wow, you speak so well, or you're so articulate, which raises the question for me, right, about their expectations. Like, what did they expect that I would sound like? And those expectations obviously were based on my skin color, my appearance, that kind of thing.
He grew up in the housing projects in Los Angeles and has come a long way since then.
I'm the first Chicano man to graduate with a degree in English, a PhD in English from USC's English department.
Dr. Navarro is also one of the 75 Latino faculty members at Cal Poly. According to the Institutional Planning and Analysis Fact Book, there are 970 white faculty members. These numbers worry Dr. Navarro.
If we teach and learn in a place that is completely homogenous, it is the same, and you hear the same perspective and the same idea over and over and over and over again, and you're not taught to think differently, and you're not exposed to different ideas and different cultures and different people, then you become an incredibly limited person.
Dr. Navarro makes an effort to teach about different cultures in his Ethnic American Literature class. He is also a member of the Chicana Latino Faculty Staff Association. The CLFSA promotes success for Latino students. They also provide a supportive environment for the small Latino community on campus. One thing Dr. Navarro misses about USC is the wide variety of Mexican food in LA.
That'll probably be my next project, is to bring really, really good Mexican food to Cal Poly.
With Cptv, this is Jessica Rocco.
Join us next week for more on Latino Heritage Month.
Coming up on Cptv, Mustang football is looking good after an undefeated season so far.
And a new grocery store is coming to the Cal Poly neighborhood.
Bag ban. It encourages me not only to use the bags I already have, but to not waste any more bags.
Welcome back to Cptv. Sports reporter Trent Murfeld is here bringing us updates on Cal Poly sports.
The Cal Poly football team is currently sitting atop the Big West Conference standings at 4-0. They extended their winning streak after defeating North Dakota last Saturday 35-17. Junior defensive tackle Sullivan Gross and senior cornerback Nico Molino were awarded the top performers of the week by College Football Performance Awards. The Mustangs climbed 3 spots to number 22 in the nation in the College Sports Madness poll. Tonight, the Mustangs are looking to get their 5th straight win of the season against Weber State at 5 p.m. The game will take place in Ogden, Utah. Cal Poly men's soccer returns to Alex G. Spanos Stadium this weekend to take on Cal State Northridge and UC Irvine. Last week, the Mustangs split their 2 road games with a 2-0 win over Cal State Fullerton. And the Mustangs enter play this weekend ranked 3rd in the Big West Conference. Junior forward Mackenzie Pridham leads the Mustangs with 5 goals this season. The Mustangs take on Cal State Northridge tonight at 7 p.m. inside Spanos Stadium, and admission is free for students. The women's volleyball team is preparing for a tough game against 8th-ranked Hawaii. The game will take place this Friday, tonight, at Mott Gym. The Mustangs need your support to find momentum going into this weekend. You can check out the game at bigwest.tv.com.
Oh man, our football team is on fire. All those 6:30 practices really seem to be paying off, huh?
Yeah, great times for Cal Poly for Cal Poly sports and sports in general. MLB playoffs start tonight, so.
Yeah, I'm sure all the Northern California sports teams fans are happy that the Giants and the A's are in the playoffs.
Yeah, so it should be some great time. So carry on here on CPTV. Emergency text messages were sent out to Cal Poly students community this past week in regards to the assault and attempted robbery on campus. CPTV's Joseph Corral learned how you can register for these messages.
The University Police Department sends text messages to students, faculty, and staff in the event of emergencies posing imminent physical threat to the campus community. The service is called Poly Alert, and the last text message sent out through the system was in regards to the assault and attempted robbery that occurred on campus last Thursday. Students who received the text message were informed of the incident and to be aware of their surroundings.
But I think that the email and the text message both did a really good job about describing what happened and also giving advice on how to prevent stuff like that from happening.
The crime took place in the Village Drive parking structure of Poly Canyon Village at 12:15 a.m., and messages regarding the incident started going out to students a couple hours after. The message was a reminder to students that while you may feel safe in your environment, you should always stay cautious.
I've never felt threatened in San Luis Obispo, but like I said, bad things can happen, and you want to be prepared for that when it does happen, and the text messaging system definitely put me on my toes.
To register for the messaging service, you must have a My Cal Poly portal. You can go to the Personal Info tab on the home page to add your phone number to the system.
In addition to registering for the emergency notification text messages, you can sign up for emergency emails in your Cal Poly portal as well.
University police held a DUI checkpoint on Grand Avenue last Friday, September 28th. They received funding to hold the checkpoint from Avoid the 14, an effort from San Luis Obispo County's 14 law enforcement agencies to reduce drunk driving in the area. The officers asked for licenses and performed quick sobriety tests by moving a finger back and forth in the front of the driver's eyes. This test is an easy sobriety test because intoxicated drivers often do not realize when the eyes wander or jerk. The UPD reported testing one driver after he had admitted to smoking marijuana an hour before, but they eventually let him go because he did not meet legal requirements for a DUI. The UPD puts up these checkpoints 1 to 2 times a year.
The 8th annual San Luis Obispo County Suicide Prevention Forum began this week. This year's program is titled Stories of Stress, Suicide, and Survival, and is designated to educate participants about risk factors that can lead to suicide. The program utilizes a dramatic presentation based on true life circumstances of stressors that can lead to suicidal ideation or acts. First-person stories from people directly affected by suicide will also be shared. The first forum was held last night at the Unity Church here in San Luis Obispo, and the next one is scheduled for Wednesday, October 10th in the Atascadero High School gym from 6 to 9 p.m. The forum requires no reservations and is made possible by educational, nonprofit, and government agencies throughout the San Luis Obispo community.
This week is Banned Books Week. It was started in 1982 to create awareness of the books that have been challenged over the years. The Kennedy Library has a display at the top of its lobby stairs. It consists of a rack of banned books that students can check out to read. It also includes an interactive and print infographic. By doing the interactive infographic, students are entered into a drawing to win a t-shirt. In celebration of Banned Books Week, Stephen Chbosky, the author of Perks of Being a Wallflower, will be speaking at Cal Poly this Friday at 4 p.m. in Chumash. The event is free to everyone.
A lot of students are coming. We also have had a lot of excitement from community members and other people involved that are going to be joining us. So it's going to be a great event.
Albertsons is moving into the former Scholarius building on Johnson Avenue in the summer of 2013. The planned store will be 30,000 square feet and will be tailored to meet the community's unique shopping needs and preferences. The news of a new grocery store comes 5 months after Scholarius closed its doors after 60 years of serving the Central Coast. Spokeswoman Lilia Rodriguez says a second location will open in town because this is a market Albertsons is doing well in. Construction and remodel of the new location is expected to start next spring.
I'm excited for all those new changes.
Yeah, it's going to change up San Luis Obispo a bit, but yeah, great change.
Definitely. Okay, so coming up on CPTV, Joseph Corral brings you the latest entertainment in Hollywood Minute.
A few big names and big ideas are coming to Cal Poly this weekend. That's next on CPTV.
I'm from Pasadena, so we've had like the plastic bag ban for a while. So I've already kind of gotten used to having to reuse bags and stuff. It's still kind of confusing remembering to put them in, but my roommates and I were talking about splitting up all our reusable bags and putting them in each car. So no matter
A very musical weekend here in San Luis Obispo.
Joseph Corral has joined us here on the news desk with our Hollywood Minute.
All right, thanks guys. We had some great shows this week and one more to look forward to this weekend. Students celebrated Latino Heritage Month with good music, food, and spoken word poetry. Another type of groove took place on Wednesday in the Chumash Auditorium. There was an open mic opportunity for students to show off their own talents. Students sang, rapped, and even did stand-up comedy during the first ATOG of the quarter. But the guest poet, Michael Reyes, was the highlight of the evening. Throughout his poems, Reyes shed light on issues such as racism and sexism. For the next show, ATOG will feature poet Lorna D. for Native American Heritage Month. The Red Skunk Gypsy Swing Band performed at UU Hour on Thursday.
Tried to phone you, she couldn't take my call. It seems that some of us have further from grace to fall.
Red Skunk is a local band that is bringing back the sounds of old jazz. The group includes 3 Cal Poly students. The other 2 members attended Morro Bay High School. Red Skunk's smooth sounds brought the Cal Poly Swing Dance Club out to the UU Plaza. The show was a rare treat as the band is usually on the road. They perform at many different jazz festivals throughout California. Get ready for the biggest hip-hop concert on the Central Coast this weekend. Pozo Saloon is hosting the 2012 Fall Frenzy on Sunday. Pozo Saloon is located in Santa Margarita and doors open at noon. Some artists include Dom Kennedy, 2 Chainz, Kendrick Lamar, DMX, and Kurt Cobain. Tickets are available at the Pozo Saloon website or at Boo Boo Records for $30. Concert goers are encouraged to use slow, safe rides for transportation. Book today to secure your seat.
Well, thanks, Joseph, for that Hollywood Minute.
Yeah, that hip-hop concert sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and with slow, safe rides, hopefully they have a pretty good turnout.
The world-renowned music group, dance troupe Stomp, performed in the Pack this week. The performance was on Tuesday and Wednesday night. In addition to the percussion group's usual trash cans and broomsticks, they used new props such as tractor tire, inner tubes, and spray cans.
And that's it for Cptv. Be sure to tune in next week. You can find our broadcast on Charter Channel 19 and on Campus Channel 2.
You can also find our broadcast on our new website, www.mustangdaily.net/cptv. We'll leave you with some more footage from the amazing performance of Stomp. From all of us here at Studio 300, have a great day, Cal Poly.